Sino? Si Sir. Oh, of course, of course. Kumusta?
Beautiful.
How are you?
Really? How formal, how beautiful.
Ikaw pala to. Event
Yes,
dinner mo
of course,
pala
of
to eh.
course.
Oh, work.
Someone worked at...
Hello!
Sige, abasin mo muna.
Sige.
Dito ba tayo?
Mort Black 12, sir.
Ha?
Mort Black 12. About yung... Walang baha. Mort Black 12.
Hi. Okay. Saan tayo?
So I didn't get your name. MJC. Ryan. How about you, man?
Krija.
Krija. Yeah. Later. Can I appreciate?
Yeah.
Okay. Tonight we'll try some of the better whiskeys, if I may say so.
Yeah, do you have any dietary restriction or any allergies? No. Alright, for tonight's amuse-bouche, first amuse-bouche in the middle is the carrot cake. These are salmon macaron. And the last one to try is the chicken toast.
The next thing you know, the gem cards, right? Like with all the peppercorns.
Drinking gin is not in the message. Black calamari.
Cheese?
Something I say because you're here for some particular reason, but it is quite special because we'll explain it to you in a bit, right? But these are part of our special releases, which means special, like limited editions. So these whiskeys will never be reproduced again. For me personally, it's quite interesting because the way, I don't have an F&B background and such, but the investment side, for example, comes in, right? Having something at home that is limited and will be gone eventually, and you holding on to it, automatically, increases the value of what you have.
I talked about the apps.
Hi, thank you everyone. Just wanted to say thank you for joining us. Although it wasn't what we originally planned, I think we still pulled together a great dinner. We have a lot of great liquids coming from Diageo, Rare Exceptional. So please enjoy the food, enjoy the whiskey, and hopefully we will see you for the next event. Thank you.
Just before we start, a few words if you don't mind. Welcome everyone, good to see familiar faces, new faces. Hi Anton, hi Rich, everyone from the Diageo team. Tonight is quite special for us and for Solaire because the whiskey that you'll be trying are rather special, and I'll explain to you why. If I may briefly introduce Diageo, as you may be familiar with, we are the biggest liquor company in the world. We own brands such as Johnnie Walker, Tanqueray, we spoke about that a bit earlier. I'm sure brands are familiar with. Now, one thing that not necessarily everyone knows is that we own the most whiskey distilleries in Scotland, right? And we are part of the prestige business of Diageo. Prestige meaning basically blue label and everything on top. Tonight, we will be trying some of our special releases and limited editions when it comes to the Johnnie Walker Old Single Malt. Right, so what it means when you talk about special releases is that these whiskeys will never be reproduced again. So there's a number on each bottle that you have, and once those numbers are sold, the people that are lucky enough to have the stocks, that will be basically it, right? So, me personally, I will share a little bit of my experience with Diageo. Award-winning Ryan Asidao. Ryan, if you may please take it away.
First of all, I would like to thank everyone for being here. Sir Philip, thank you very much also for having us. So today we have a special 5-course meal paired with our amazing special releases whiskey. So into addition what Matt said, special releases is an annual release of our limited edition whiskeys from different distilleries. So Matt was telling us earlier about the number of distilleries that we have for Diageo. In totality in Scotland, we have a total of 118 active distilleries, 28 of which is from Diageo, making us the biggest producers of Scotch whiskey. And we will be tasting 5 of them tonight. We'll be tasting 4 single malts and 1 blended Scotch whiskey, and all of them are part of our prestige range, Rare and Exceptional. So all of these are also paired with the amazing food prepared by Chef Alan of Finestra, which will be pairing it with our whiskies. So we'll go it one by one as the food comes by. So if you have any questions along the way, let me know as well. But we have our first whiskey on our hand is Teaninich. So like what I said, we'll be tasting 4 single malts and 1 blended Scotch whiskey, all paired with amazing food of Finestra here in Solaire. Our first whiskey is Teaninich, special releases 2018, 17-year-old. So here we are looking at a highland region of a type of a whiskey, wherein when we talk about regions in Scotland, we have Isla, Campbelltown, Lowlands, Highlands, and Speyside. Highlands tends to give you like nutty notes. But Teaninich is kind of very special because it gives you complexity wherein it's nutty, and of course it's also more of the citrusy and fruity side of whiskey. Teaninich is not really a popular single malt distillery that we have. Its actually main purpose was to be blended in our blended Scotch whiskies. So, but for our special releases, the distillery decided to get that 17-year-old finished in American oak and European casks. But majority of them are American oak, giving it more a nuttier taste and earthy note taste. And for this kind of whiskey, it's very popular for blended, but we have a special release, which is a single malt, Teaninich 17. So in terms of notes, think of nuts, think of a little bit of citrus. That's why it's a great pair with the amazing food from Venezia, which is Italian veal tartare. So it's dried figs and hazelnuts, so goes well with the nutty flavors of our whiskey. Just to give an idea, all our first 4 whiskeys are natural cask strength, so it's kind of intense. You can add a little bit of water, but for me, enjoy it neat first, and then let's pair it with our food. So this is our first whiskey, Teaninich. You can actually drink it and savor it, and of course drink it, eat the food as well. 70-year-old Highland single malt from our 2018 special release. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
So on the smell, very aromatic, very bright, tapos a little intense because it's 55.7 ABV. So cask strength like the first 4 has sort of all the same, 54 to 56 ABV. So cask strength. Means that when we talk about cask strength, from the barrel straight to the bottle. So sometimes kasi after maturation, they add water just to lower down the ABV. May water. So the only thing that you can add in creating Scotch whiskey is water and spearhead caramel for color, but for as well with the nuttiness of the food as well. So the tartare here is a little more of the bright side as well.
Yeah. With them. No. But
The Philippines kasi like sikat na ito Johnnie, but Isla and Speyside. So Isla for the smoky ones, Speyside fruity.
home
But
first. This one
Highlands,
first.
Lowlands, and
For
Capital.
wine
So,
pairing.
that's why this one is kind of
So we did wine pairing sa...
Depends with the person who owns it. Now, why? What makes it special is because the person who owns it has this exclusive side. Nothing competes to it, right? So you can have one.
Well, to answer your question, we actually don't promote it a lot.
We don't use it.
No, it's not because of that. And then we start with pieces. We've never put out, well, for the
Of course. So our second whiskey is Glen Elgin, 18 years old. So earlier we had Teaninich 17, it's from Highlands. Glen Elgin is from the most famous region in Scotland, which is Speyside. Speyside technically is part of Highlands, but because of it has the most number of distilleries, it became a separate region. So a lot of the whiskey that you know are from Speyside, and one of which is Glen Elgin. So Glen Elgin was founded in 1878, and it was actually owned by Arthur Bell and Sons. So Bell's created a blended Scotch whiskey, and they really wanted to have a certain flavor profile for their whiskey. That's why they have this Glen Elgin as one of their single malt distillery. So Glen Elgin is in the north part of Speyside. One thing that's very special about Glen Elgin, it's very not really popular in the whiskey world because it's actually for blending. So they have limited number of bottles in a single malt portfolio, which is one of which is our Glen Elgin, which has 55.6 ABV. So it's quite intense. So we'll be pairing it with a Parmesan and truffle explosion. So in terms of the flavor profile, when you try to nose your whiskey, it's more of the creamier side, fruity and creamy. That really goes well with our Parmesan and truffle explosion, crispy sage and curd egg yolk. So more of the creamier side. It's cask strength with higher ABV, but definitely goes well with your food. So this is our second whiskey, Glen Elgin, 18 years old. I forgot to mention it's also used in our blended Scotch whiskey, like not just Bell's, but also for Johnnie Walker. So yeah, cheers everyone.
Cheers.
Texture wise, it's quite heavier as compared to the first one. Then there's a creamier and less dry flavors. Then just pair it with the truffle explosion. So for sure it will be great.
The first one more caramel.
This one This one is waxy and butter. So the creaminess of those.
There's no actual liquid,
Thank you.
but it's.
We were waiting to head there.
So really
Dummy down.
great
Ito
Johnnie
yung
Walker.
siya. So,
Sometimes in Chinese gatherings, the lady drinks full glass of drinking it.
appreciate why it's
Okay. Sword.
Paano namin nabukasan? Pinakapasin.
I was we give events for Chinese.
Thank you.
You drink like a full glass straight. And the next day you will
It has also like a leather.
And then you can change the cover.
Yeah, and then you can have your own drink.
It's Where's the bottle? Oh, there. You can change
Oh, sorry, cover.
the cover.
It's the cover on top. There you go. Kala ko baby. More about the junior syrup. Yeah. Just tasting notes and
of them ruby reserve, which are in the Solaire.
yeah.
But wherever people can find those, right, they will try to. I mean, 300 plus in the world.
So we're having Inchgower, 27 years old. So it's 27 years, almost 3 decades in the cask. This is also from Speyside. So expect fruitiness, but this one is actually more of fruits and citrus that goes well with the grilled amberjacks with smoked tomatoes and of course the different vegetables inside. So cauliflower and all. So a little creamy as well, but definitely more of on the fruity and citrus side. Texture-wise, it's kind of light, but again, it's also natural cask strength with 55 more or less % of ABV. So quite intense. Another Speyside 27-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey from our especially since 2019 as well. So 27-year-old Inchgower from Speyside. So cheers and enjoy your whiskey.
Cheers.
This was the blind tasting part where I identified these.
Cheers.
This is
Medyo magugustuhan. 27-year-old. Light because majority is American oak again. 27.
but the ABV is
Still
quite high.
high. Majority American oak. Kaya siya light. Pag may European oak, it will be darker.
Ayan.
Usually ba pag the older, anong nangyayari sa
So people think, isasabi nila like, oh, suabe, smooth, yan pag mas matanda, mas masarap, etc. But the logic here is, the younger the whiskey, more intense. So imagine after distillation, I am the distillate. You're going to put me inside the barrel. So I'm intense. Alcohol pa ako na sobrang intense distillate. So what I'm going to do is to interact with.
The person really high demand, right? So this is, I don't know for you guys, this is a whiskey that the Filipinos enjoy very much, where we really had to look for additional allocations from other countries so we could get more. So this is, I believe, the second or even third batch, the last batch for us to get from other countries. After this one, that will be it. So there will be nothing left. Usually, panalo din sa mga clients natin.
So as you can see, the solid side, the citrusy, those were citrus, most of the whiskies.
Ito yung favorite na. This is
For our fourth course is Dalwhinnie 30-year-old. So amongst our whiskey for tonight, it's the oldest. 3 decades in both American oak and European oak. So as you can see in the color, it's quite darker as compared to our first 3. Something about Dalwhinnie, it's very special to me because it is one of my favorite single malts. And Dalwhinnie is actually the highest distillery in terms of altitude in Scotland. So it's the highest distillery in the mountains with an average temperature of 6 degrees all year long. So in terms of production process, there's also an effect because of the coolness and the coldness of the weather. So the colder the weather, the slower the maturation it will happen. So again, Dalwhinnie is also part of our special releases for 2020. It's 30 years old, natural cask strength as well, more or less 55 to 56 ABV, but a little darker because it has also incorporation of European oak. So a combination of both casks. And something special about the distillery itself is it's known for heather honey notes. So it's more of the sweeter side, honey side. It's from Highlands, so people think it's nutty, but actually it's more of the fruitier side kind of Highland single malt. So again, it's more of heather honey notes, sweet, fruity, very approachable. In terms of the nose, it's very round and of course very complex as well. So when you do taste it, you will first notice the texture. It's kind of heavy as well. Texture-wise, it's heavier as compared to the first 3. A little dry first, but the sweetness will come through. So sweet, fruity, a little caramel, a little honey, and vanilla. So also, the fruitiness that comes from the whiskey goes well with our lamb. So sous vide cooked lamb, which is a little more of the spicier, but with a little fruitiness as well. If you compare, if you pair it with your whiskey. So yeah, enjoy your food and enjoy your whiskey. And let us know your thoughts and cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Ito yung favorite ko sa first four.
Ano ba yung sabihin ba?
Maybe because it's a Dalwhinnie, right? So Dalwhinnie, it's kind of like the Glen Elgin of Inchgower, and they're like Dalwhinnie. So, but you proved me wrong. Sarap siya.
Sarap siya.
Sino ba nag-decide kung anong bibili niyo?
Hindi ako. Mas madali sagutin yung tanong mo ba kasi hindi ako yun.
Basta monopoly combo you guys have. May sana kang monopoly board game and
Oh,
treasure.
so we actually came out with a Monopoly board that's Solaire branded.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, around 2020, we had that out. So it's a partnership between from there up to the promotions here on the property. So basically, it's
Can anyone guide them?
Johnnie Walker Blue Label goes in the Glen Royal. So this one is the blended Scotch whiskey.
Yo.
So it has a lower ABV, so medyo mas mas magaan, 43%. And we released different Johnnie Walker Blue Label limited editions. So one of which is Ghost and Rare, and the other one is Legendary 8. So Ghost and Rare, the Ghost means the closed distilleries. So inside this blend, we have 3 closed distilleries, meaning it's no longer in production. Some of them are already parking lots, or I don't know, for some reason. And the rare are the rare whiskeys from our other distilleries. So in the bottle, you can actually see the names of the distilleries highlighted. So the white ones are the closed ones, but the highlight for this one is Glen Royal from Highlands. So it's not really a famous distillery as well, but it closed down way back before. And then we have reserves from the barrels, and we use that in blending Johnnie Walker Blue Label Ghost and Rare Glen Royal. So it's not the same as the Johnnie Walker Blue, but the inspiration behind this is the Johnnie Walker Blue. So, but in addition, it's a different liquid, more chocolate notes, a little toffee, a little dry, a little smoky. That's why it goes well with our dessert here. So I want you guys to enjoy our 5th whiskey of the night. So a blended Scotch whiskey for Johnnie Walker Blue Label Ghost in Rare Glen Royal. So cheers, and enjoy with you.
Cheers.
Oh, this is NAS. So
NAS to.
no age statement, so it's a combination. Ang sarap nito talaga.
Sarap niya.
Ang
I
sarap
like
nito.
it with the ice actually.
Yeah, really good.
Lighter nga, no?
Lighter na siya in a sense of it's a blended Scotch first, and it's not natural cask strength, so 43%. So the great thing about having 5 whiskeys in front of you, you can pair one of which.
I hope all of you enjoyed it, our effort, to build this menu.
It was absolutely delicious.
Thank you.
Especially the match, but
Yes, no, for us, we talked about it earlier. Everything we tried was absolutely amazing. But the pasta dish, and I think all of us have tried so many pasta dishes throughout the years. But what you created tonight,
Maybe because I'm
Roma.
Italian.
I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was, but it was absolutely beautiful.
I think it was.
It was beautiful. It made me stand up from my chair.
So you can have anything engraved, like your name, a note. We can do that for you as well. You can engrave a message on the bottle. Pero kay Blue Label lang.
I love.
Sorry. Yeah.
That's honey cookie.
Well,
You're
Lemon.
standing your ground on the first.
it's parsley. Looks like the green one.
You like complexity. You like
It's a fluid gel.
right?
Actually, you know what? Hindi, yung honeycomb is already there. Sarap na lang.
Parang siyang white chocolate Toblerone.
Okay.
meeting you.
Nice to
Cheers.
meet you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Ano bang cheers sa Scotland?
Skulls.
Slanjava.
Slanjava pala. Dapat Slanjava. Hindi, German yan eh. Hindi ba Skulls?
Scotland.
Slanja.
Scotland.